Hello fellow crafty souls, and welcome back to the channel. Today's card for our 2024 Year of the Stencil is featuring stencils with embossing folders. So each month I try to theme my cards, and this month's theme is, surprise surprise, not Valentine's, but actually it's going to be random acts of kindness. So we all like to share our little handmade kindness with our cards, so I thought that this month features Random Acts of Kindness Day on the 17th of February, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to make a card to share with someone for this random act of kindness. So stick around for the card making and we shall get in to share some handmade kindness. Before we begin with the crafting, I just wanted to share a quote from the Random Acts of Kindness website, and that from a Racktivist, kindness begins with me. And that's something really important to hold on to, is that if kindness always begins with us, we can pass it on and it will never stop. So today I will be crafting with the Altenew Craft Your Life project kit featuring Fragrant Florals embossing folder, stencils and stamp set. And I've got a couple of cardstock fronts there. And so I'm going to begin by just spraying a little bit of water onto my cardstock and running my embossing folder through my Gina Intricut machine. And just to prove how awkward I can be, I'm trying to show you that I have it set on the 3D emboss setting and running that through the machine. I love this little machine. I think it's great, and I've run it through a second time just to, to be sure if you like. And I always love it when I open up the embossing folders and oh, look at all that beautiful texture. And you can use your embossed designs either way, either design up or design down. So the stencil set actually has 4 stencils, and each stencil is numbered. See me here trying to awkwardly show you the numbers, but they are well edged in there and you can see it. And I've popped my design down onto my Altenew. I just took my sticky mat out of my Altenew Stampwheel, and this is a main reason why I actually love the stamp wheel, is that I can do all the stenciling in the world that I want. So I'm just going to go through and pick out a couple of different colours, and I like to do the darker colours on the inside and then do a bit of colour blending and do the lighter colours to the outside. And it makes it really handy if you've got the little detail blending brushes to do that. So with all of your Altenew designs, it actually has a layering guide and it shows you all the different colours and how to layer them out. So I keep that off to the side and we'll reference that throughout the video just to make sure I'm colouring all the right flowers, the right colours, because I would have a tendency to actually mix my colours up and give my petals 4 different colours. But hey, who says you can't do that anyway? So when I'm doing my colour blending using my little detailed brushes, I will obviously go one way and then the other, backwards and forwards through. So that was a little pause just to make sure that I was actually referencing the right colours. So I wanted to theme this month a bit of sharing random acts of kindness. Because I don't know about the rest of you, but new year, new start, and January was a bit rough to start with. We're all busy, we're all run down obviously from the holidays, so it's just taking that bit of time to think, a positive start to the year is by sharing kindness with someone else and bringing that joy. You actually fill your own cup. And it's important that we remind ourselves to fill our own cups, because you can't pour from an empty cup. And when there's nothing left to give, then that's when people get really distressed. Oh, look at that, using distress inks. Sorry, really bad joke for the morning. But yeah, it's important to realise that with our craft, it brings us joy. So even if you're in that funk and you can't find that joy for yourself, think about that joy that it brings for someone else. And sometimes that can be enough to actually spur you on and create something beautiful. And if not, make a card for yourself. What is something that you would like someone to tell you? And make that for yourself, because sometimes you have to be your own best friend. So here again you can see I'm referencing my colour guide and using my favourite colour of all time, purple. If you could see, if I was brave enough to show you my face at the moment, you would see that my hair looks like I have snuggled up with a mermaid, and it's very short, shaved on the sides and back, and the sides and back are purple and the top is like a mix of purple and blue. So, but my story is that I can change my hair colour frequently, and that's my version of a midlife crisis. It's cheaper than a Ferrari. So anyway, talking you through doing stenciling is really kind of pointless, because we all know how to stencil. It's really finding those colour combos that you like. So I went with some pinks, some purples and teals, because what a colour combination. It's a beautiful bright combination. And I actually like the purple and teal combo so much that when I married my husband, I had these Singapore orchids in the purple and blue, and they were absolutely beautiful. But anyway, I digress. So just going through, and what you don't see off screen is that obviously that colour guide is sitting beside me, and I will stop and reference it every now and then. The other thing is not to get too distracted when you're stenciling with all these multi-stencils, watching shows, which is I think what I was doing here on this particular day, getting in and watching one of my shows. Excuse me. And yes, very distracting. So back to because I will jump all over topics, back to the Random Acts of Kindness Day. People will go, well, what can I actually do for Random Acts of Kindness? A random act of kindness can be smiling at someone, telling them that tell someone that you like the shirt that they're wearing, or that they smell nice. I have randomly gone up to strangers if they've walked past, and I've liked their perfume or their cologne, and I've said, I'm sorry if this seems really weird, but I really like your perfume, or you smell really nice today. And it's amazing what something like that, and just the going up to someone and saying something like that, what it can actually mean to someone. I know I've had people come up to me and go, oh wow, you smell really nice. And I've floated off on a bubble for the rest of the day, just something small, and it just felt really good. Because for a lot of people, when they go out, and smelling nice is important to them. So if someone else acknowledges that, anyway, just a random thought. But as you can see, we're just going through and continuing on the colour. This is stencil number 2. And I'm trying to figure out what colour that one is. So that's right, that's that little random spot up top, and I'm trying to figure out where it actually belongs. Finally figured it out and who it belonged to. So other random acts of kindness, you might decide to pay it forward and buy a coffee for someone behind you in line. You might go and give someone randomly a handmade card, just telling them that you think that they're amazing, or that you want to bring a smile to their face. So that's the whole point of Random Acts of Kindness Day. And I don't know about you, but I think that we all need more kindness in this world. And if everyone holds on to that feeling of, kindness begins with me, and everyone shared that thought and lived that, imagine what a difference the world would be, what a difference it would make in the world, if you like. So, yeah. All right. Now, there is the Random Acts of Kindness website. I will post a link to the website. There are other amazing quotes on there. There's some beautiful, with the quotes come some really lovely pictures. And you know what was at the beginning of the video, the feet. So imagine, I know that there are some stamp companies that have the top down looking feet view, something like that, and you know, turn that into a card. Imagine what a card that would make with that beautiful quote. So I don't know, stamp companies, maybe that's an idea, is random acts of kindness stamp quotes, and maybe pick some great quotes off the website. I don't know, maybe just a suggestion. So yeah, just going through and doing the stenciling. And yes, it can be very tedious, but for me it actually becomes a very mindful moment. Excuse me. Sorry about that. And it just gives me the opportunity to kind of tune out a little, if you like, to create something beautiful, and it's fairly effortless creation. I know I've been in a bit of a creative slump myself recently, so I do like the effortlessness that stencils afford. And when you've got stencils in combination with embossing folders or with stamps, which this set actually has, so you have the chance to use either a stamp or the embossing folder with the stencils. So there are multiple opportunities to create with this without having to stretch your imagination to your imaginative legs too long. If you don't have that something, if you've got nothing in the tank but you still want to create, to re-spark that joy. And I know for me, when I've got nothing in the tank, because on a daily basis work for me as a nurse is, it's giving every day to everyone around you. So for me, sometimes that creative joy is not there. However, I know that by doing something like this, it's a great way to spark that creative flame again. And it gives me a good opportunity to try colour combos that I wouldn't necessarily try. Speaking of colour combos, my hubby let me in on a little secret. Well, he sent me the digital downloads anyway. But for Valentine's Day, I got the colour cubes from Sarah Clark, I think it is. So I am very excited to try it out. Yeah, he had to send me the download early because he's like, I have no idea what to do with this. But he's also ordered me the physical cubes, so I cannot wait. I was having a look through the colour combos last night, so no doubt the colour cubes and combos will pop up into my videos in the upcoming sessions to drive some of my inspiration as well. So I cannot wait. He's a good man. I said, this is what I'd like for Valentine's Day, and it was a good thing. So I'm just about done with this last stencil, colouring in the leaves, and I love that colour combo of the twisted citron and, oh geez, now I've forgotten, hang on, bear with me. I think it was Evergreen Bough that I used, but I will link the colour that I actually did use. So as you can see, it's bright, it's fun. Look at that. Who wouldn't want to get something like that as happy mail? So I started trying to use my stamp wheel. So I used my stamp wheel and the navy Altenew ink to stamp out a sentiment. Just for something a little bit different. Sentiments don't always have to be in black and white, and I thought the navy might be a nice contrast against the bright flowers. So my game plan is to actually clear heat emboss over the top of this. So I have just used my powder tool, and I'm going to stamp this down a couple of times to get a nice crisp print. And I love the stamp wheel for the crispness of the, I don't know, the sentiments and how they come out. And you don't have to do a lot of CPR pressing, if you like. So I've just stamped it down 3 times to get that nice crisp image. And because it is the Altenew Fresh Dye Inks, they dry very quickly. So I'm just stamping over the top of it with some VersaMark. And I've left the sentiment on there, so I know it's not going to shift. The cardstock's not moved. It's beautiful. And just using some clear embossing powder, I think it's Ranger, and going to go through and use my heat tool to heat that up. I don't know, I'm a funny one. I like to heat from the back and the front. For me, I've just found that I like how it turns out a little less divoty on the top. If you heat from the bottom, I don't know if it heats and melts the ones on the bottom first, so it almost creates like a layer. Now, I don't have, with this die set, there wasn't the matching sentiment to cut out the sentiments. So I'm just doing some fussy cutting and cutting around that. I don't know, for some reason I've just fallen in love more with the outlined close to the sentiment, like cut out, rather than like a strip or a square. I don't know. I suppose it gives, when you're looking at something like that much picture, you don't want to have it covered up by a big square tab. So that's why I like that, to just cut it out a little bit more. I'm just using my sanding block just to sand it down, take a few of those rough corners off, and have a bit of fuss with it. Beautiful, happy with that. And find out where I put it. So now I'm going to cut the card front panel down itself, and I started off to cut it down to by 4 by 5.25, and then I was thinking about it, and I thought, being a white on white, I wanted a coloured matte, so I ended up cutting it down to the final card front size was 5 by 3.75 inches. Now, I'm Australian. I don't deal in inches. We're metric system. But when it comes to card making, I got into it. Now I deal with the inches for me, because most of the crafters and designers I watch and listen to are American. So here I will embrace the inch measurements. So I decided to use a purple, my favourite colour, coloured card mat. And that one I cut to 5.25 by 4. So I'm just using some glue, and I find that the liquid glue, just with your embossing folders, you can get it all over, and it gives it that opportunity to stick down well. And just going to stick those together. Now, I have a tendency to stick my card fronts onto my card base, and then decide that I want to put something in the middle of my card. So I then have to try and wrangle around my card front, the extra bits and pieces, to put something on the inside. So with my sentiment, I wanted to pop it up. Because I don't have a matching die, if I had a matching die, I would have actually cut like multiple layers of the sentiment itself and just stacked the layers up. However, I don't have a die, so I am using just some foam tape to give it that extra bit of dimension. And fiddling with it. Thank goodness for editing and that bit of speed up. It hides just how awkward I can be with things like the foam tape and whatnot. Now, I also like to use a little bit of glue on the foam tape, just gives a bit of wiggle time. So just having a look, making sure. So that's basically the card finished. I'm just going to pop a little sentiment on the inside. I always stamp the backs of my cards, obviously, so that it's a handmade design. that's just another little personal touch I like to put on. So I picked a sentiment off the stamp sheet and I thought, oh, I'll hold it on my hand. You can't read it. Can't read it for anything. And I think it was, it will show shortly anyway. So this is me figuring out that I can't do it in my stamp wheel, so I have to go to the Misti because I can actually open the card and lay it out flat. Now I love this Simon Says Stamp Grid Transparency. I saw it on Jennifer Maguire and Christina Warner's videos, and I just love it. It is easy, it keeps the sentiment straight, and yeah, it is one of the most used, like when it comes to my stamping, it's an underestimated and highly utilized tool. So yeah, it's one of those surprise things. Alright, so the inside sentiment says, sending happy thoughts your way. And I used the same navy that I used on the front just to carry that coordination. So that is the completed card. To finish up with a quote, 3 things in human life are important. The first is to be kind, the second is to be kind, and the third is to be kind. And that's by Henry James. Don't forget to check out the Random Acts of Kindness website. I want to say thank you for joining me today. And if you like the video, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe. And check out a video down below for a Valentine's Day video that I made last year. Thanks. Bye.